she has been filming everything that's actually on her side. And now she's saying that they said that they could extend her staying there. But there's no film of that. That should be a fucking big red flag right there. What up, YouTube? It's been a while. Today we have a reaction video. I haven't done those in a while, so I was wondering what's been going on in Australia, because I've heard a lot of strange things coming out from there. And I had some downtime while I was working. And I stumbled upon an interesting video about the current actions they have taken against the COVID-19. But before we go any further, remember to subscribe, hit the bell notification also, so you will get notified when there's new videos. Like the video and comment down below what you think about the things Australians are doing. Let's continue. So, I've always thought that Australians are, from the get-go, pretty strange, because, well, 90% of the things in that little island wants to kill you, and you have to be pretty strong-minded and, well, know how to survive. So I was sure when the COVID came that Australia would be fine, but instead they have handled it pretty poorly, according to a lot of sources, and they are doing things that we Europeans can't even imagine. But yeah, you will see. Enjoy the video. But yeah, I was on the internet today, and I found out that Australia is in shambles. I don't know which ass hat to watch, because Australia has a lot of like really fucking crazy people. So yeah, it was this one. So this was the thing that sparked my downward, you could call it downward spiral. There's a YouTube video of that too. Here we go. So I think we need to watch this one, right? So yeah. I don't know, this is like basically Australia's own Ano Turtiainen. If I understand correctly. She's against any mandates. People eating D. Vitamin D. What a save. So yeah. Apparently Australia has gone pretty apeshit with the new version of the coronavirus. What the fuck was it?
I am Lur of the planet Omicron Persei 8.
Omicron.
I am Lur, ruler of the planet Omicron Persei 8.
Was it like that? Omicron.
People of Earth, I am Lur of the planet Omicron Persei 8. Turn down the TV and
so Australia apparently, if you have been near a person who has been diagnosed positive, through fucking China level investigation, they track down all the people who have been in contact with the person, and they don't call you or anything. They fucking come to your door, rings your fucking doorbell, and starts asking questions. But let's watch.
You feel like you're in prison. You feel like you've done something wrong. It's inhumane what they're doing. Like you are so small. They just
sound level.
You, and you're literally nothing. It's
higher,
like,
lower.
You do what we say, or you're in trouble. We'll lock you up for longer. Yeah, they were even threatening me that if I was to do this again, we will extend your time in here.
Joining us today on the line from Darwin in the Northern Territories is Hayley Hodgson. She has just returned from a 14-day, let's say, stay at Howard Springs, and she's agreed to tell us all about it. Hi, Hayley.
Hi, how you going?
So we are really keen to just hear what's happened to you. It sounds like you've had quite an interesting last couple of weeks. Take us right back to the beginning. How did this all start?
Okay, so how it all started was a friend of mine went to work and got tested for COVID. He had a little bit of a cold. He tested positive. He got put into this quarantine camp, And then we went about our days as normal, and then the investigators starting to knock on our doors and stuff like that. So then what actually happened was I had investigators come. I walked out the front.
Just to interrupt you, so how did they investigate you? Were you part of a contact tracing?
Yeah, those lights were fucking crazy.
So what they did is how they contacted me.
Those weren't even ring lights, I think.
And they ran my number plate, and they ran the number plate and seen the footage that I was with the person who had tested positive, and that's how they knocked on my door and knew where I lived from running my number plates.
Okay. So then did they call you up, or did they come straight to the house, or what happens next?
Yeah, so they came straight to my house. I didn't get a call or anything. I literally walked out the front, and it was two undercover investigators. And they said, "Oh, do you know so-and-so?" I said, "Yes." They said, "Have you been with them?" And I said, "Yep." I told them my whereabouts, where I'd been, everything like that. And they said, "No worries." And they said, "Had you had a COVID test done?" I said, "Yes, I had," when I had it, just because I was so scared of in the moment. And I've been to one of these quarantine camps before, only literally a month before this. So I know what it was like. I was just really scared. It was just a horrible position to be in. And I just lied and said, "Look, yeah, I have," when I had it. They said, they drove off. About 5 minutes later, they called me and they said, "We've tried to check the system and your name's nowhere. We can't find you." And I said, "Look, I've lied to you. I'm completely sorry. I'm so apologetic. I'm scared. I don't want to, this is just such a scary thing." And they said, "Yep, righto, stay there. Someone's going to come and test you." I said, "All right." So I stayed there and I just waited for someone to come and test me. No one came to test me. The next people who rocked up at my house were two other police officers. They blocked my driveway.
These are actually uniformed police officers, normal police officers.
So then the police officers blocked my driveway. I walked out and I said, "What's going on? Are you guys testing me for COVID? What's happening?" They said, "No, you're getting taken away and you have no choice. You're going to Howard Springs. You either come with us now and we'll put you in the back of the divvy van, or you can have a choice to get a COVID cab." So of course I chose the COVID cab because they said, "Well, if we're to take you, we're going to hand you a $5,000 fine." So of course I didn't want that to happen. So I just said, "Look, I don't consent to this. I don't understand why I can't just self-isolate at home like a lot of other people are doing." And they just said, "We've just been told from higher up where to take you, and that's all that there is."
So Howard Springs is the biggest COVID camp in Australia, isn't it? It's a huge network of cabins.
Okay. My first question is, I'm pretty sure Finland doesn't have these. This looks kind of crazy. Of course, we are a smaller country, so imagine having them now. Minus 10 degrees.
That is built to house potentially infected people.
Yeah, so they are literally bringing in now hundreds of people that are of close contact or that have COVID. So it doesn't even matter if you test negative on your first test, your second or your third. They need to, because you're a close contact, you have to stay in there for 14 days, no matter what.
So let's get back to this situation at your house. So these two policemen, what is the choice they give you exactly? It's come with us in this van, or you get a $5,000 fine.
Yeah, so it's, you come with us, we take you there and you're given a $5,000 fine, or we will call a COVID cab and we will not fine you. So it's pretty much you have to consent, otherwise you're getting a $5,000 fine.
Okay, so then some hours later, the COVID cab arrives.
Yeah, it was probably, the policeman stayed at my driveway until this cab came. They said, "Can you please go pack a bag?" So I went and packed a bag, and whilst I was packing my bag, I had my housemates at the front speaking to them, and they said, "Is she able to just do a test? And once that test comes back negative, is she able to, leave and come back to normal life?" And these police officers said, "Yes, we're pretty sure that all you have to do is return a negative test and you'll be released. So that gave me, you know, that calmed me down knowing, okay, well, if I return a negative test, I can just go back home. So I got in the COVID cab and the police...
I think we've got some footage that your mum took, actually, that we can play of you waving goodbye and getting into the back of a van.
Have just come and she's being taken away, but look at the COVID van. Bistro pokies and functions.
Bar Bristol Pokies function.
How professional. Long live COVID.
There is a COVID taxi, but it's actually a casino bus. So driving there, and then the police escorted me in, and then I never seen them police again. They left. They weren't allowed into the facility. So then new police came and they were in charge. Obviously, I was very distressed. I was crying. I was saying this isn't fair. You know, it was just horrible to go through. And I stood there and I just said, can I please have a test now? Because I need these test results back, as I will be negative. And I later on, I was negative. The whole time I was there, I was negative. And I said, once these go negative, am I allowed to leave? And she said, no, you're here for the 14 days.
Yeah.
The first time you found out that you were there for 14 days was when you arrived?
Yep.
Okay, so you get taken to a room, is it? A cabin? What's life like inside these camps?
You literally get put on the back of a golf buggy with your bags, and these people are in hazmat suits and everything. They don't want to come near you because they think you're infectious.
I'm sorry, but they are not in hazmat suits. They are in contamination suits. That's completely different thing. Hazmat suits are made for withstanding radiation. As you will soon see the video, those suits aren't meant for radiation.
And they literally drop you to your room and they leave you. They don't come and say anything. They don't check up. They don't do anything. You know, you get delivered your meals once a day and you are just left.
I know you're allowed to talk to people. I mean, we could have you spoken to people from inside the camp?
We can, but we're only allowed to stay in our designated areas, which is nothing, maybe 2 meters. We have a deck that we're allowed to go out.
If you want to understand this, like, okay, they are accused of having a really easily spreading disease, so that's actually kind of logical that you could just be in a certain area. But then if you test negative, you will probably want those people to be in a different area of the camp or leave. I don't know.
Out and maybe get a little bit of sunlight, but that is it. If you get caught off your decking without a mask on or anything, you get a $5,000 fine. And then that happened to me. So I didn't get a $5,000 fine. I got a written up warning, which is, I actually sent you guys some footage on that as well.
Yeah, so tell us about what we're about to see here. So these are the officials inside the camp who are disciplining you because you were apparently not being contained within your area, is that right?
Yeah, correct. So I went to the bin to put something in the bin that I was not wearing a mask. Mind you, I actually have an exemption. I don't need to wear a mask. I have a medical condition.
Okay, that's like, I'm fucking sorry, but I'm asthmatic. And even I can wear a mask. There's no fucking medical condition that prevents you from using a mask. So that's a bullshit. That's a bullshit excuse.
And the person that came to hand me the notice was another police officer.
So what's the go?
So this, I'm going to give you a warning, yeah? It's an official warning.
So yeah, these are not hazmat suits, for example. You walk in a radioactive space with those, you will get fucking killed.
That you have to stand above and obey the rules.
You will die.
Yeah, and that's, we have to go the rules again. I don't care.
So am I allowed to go to the laundry?
You're allowed to go to the laundry, but you got to wear a mask. Yeah.
Yeah, righto.
Those are basically plastic bags, nothing else.
So what did that experience make you think? Like, what was your feeling about being in that situation with those people in control of your every movement?
Oh, it's horrible. It's a horrible feeling. You feel like you're in prison. You feel like you've done something wrong. It's inhumane what they're doing. Like you are so small. They just overpower you and you're literally nothing. It's like you do what we say or you're in trouble. We'll lock you up for longer. Yeah, they were even threatening me that if I was to do this again, we will extend your time in here.
So the officers within the camp have the power to keep you there longer if you misbehave?
That's what they were saying, yep.
And at one stage, is it true that they offered you Valium?
It's crazy that there's no film of that.
Yeah, so because I was so distressed and I said, can you just please let me out for a walk or a run? Like I'm in this little box and I can't move.
Like she has been filming everything that's actually on her side. And now she's saying that they said that they could extend her staying there. But there's no film of that. That should be a fucking big red flag right there.
Can I please, I'm anxious, I'm feeling not well, I need to get out. And they literally said, we've got a doctor calling you and we'll get some Valium prescribed to you that you can call us anytime you like and you can have Valium.
Again, no fucking audio or video.
Skoda Service merkkihuolto. Keskity elämään. Me huollamme
I've
autosi.
tried to search.
Simply
Nothing.
clever.
Just to calm you down.
Yeah.
So when did this end, Hayley? You were in there for the full 14 days?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, 14 days.
And that was a few days ago that you came out?
Yeah, I think I've been out a week and a half now.
So during that whole time, how many times were you tested and did you ever test positive?
Never tested positive at all, and I was tested 3 times.
So at the moment, you haven't had COVID?
Never had COVID, and I was of close contact to someone, never got it, and I was treated literally like a criminal.
What's happened to you since you came out?
Really?
I no longer have a job as I was casual at where I was working, so I am now unemployed.
So you were working in a store or what? How did that happen?
Yeah, so I was just working in a retail store. Obviously casual, you don't get paid any sick leave or for being away from your job. So I wasn't getting paid or anything whilst I was being in there. They compensated me, I think, $1,500.
Sounds like a pretty fucking shitty government that lets companies do that.
$500 for the 2 weeks. And that was all.
So you've lost your job?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty
now
sure
I'm
she
currently
said
unemployed
that.
because of this situation.
There's been a lot of press in Australian media about how these camps are really luxurious and it's like having a holiday. Did it feel like a holiday for you?
No way. You are literally trapped in a box on your decking with fences all around you, cameras everywhere.
I think the experience is
it's just astounding.
subjective.
Like you're literally treated like a prisoner in there.
So
Like
let's
everybody
zoom out a little bit, Hayley.
feels
You've been living through this for
differently.
the past couple of years. What is happening, do you think, to Australia and to your country?
Well, it's so hard. It's like people aren't, we just abide by the rules and we're just going with the flow, but this flow doesn't seem to be getting any better. Like, we have hardly any numbers and they're doing this to us still. It's just crazy. I originally lived in Victoria, Melbourne, where it was really, really bad and we had lockdowns. We've been in lockdowns for months and months. And the reason why I moved to Darwin was to get away from that because Darwin wasn't as bad and the lockdowns weren't happening. So once I moved up here, it was all fine. And then that one case happened and it's just crazy. Like they locked the whole state down and just sending heaps and heaps of people there because obviously Darwin is the only place that has this quarantine camp in Australia.
Because in the international media, it's been reported that Australia is kind of relaxing a bit, or at least the rules about international travel are relaxing. They no longer plan to have zero COVID. They're going to understand that they need to manage it. Does it feel like it's getting better over there?
I think every state is different. At the moment, Darwin is really, really harsh with it, with what's going on and stuff. I think other states are relaxing as more people are getting vaccinated. But the unvaccinated people who choose not to be are just looked at like prisoners and that they're doing the wrong thing.
So what are you going to do next, Hayley? What comes next for you?
What comes?
I'm gonna probably create an OnlyFans and try to join the public QAnon group. Like, she's so fucking famous in those QAnon circles that she could just like create a GoFundMe page and probably get like hundreds of thousands of dollars to, I don't know, start up a podcast or something.
What's next? Well, find a job. That's definitely. And really want to get awareness out to what is going on. Like, these camps are getting built all over the world. I know there's another one getting built in Victoria at the moment. And as I said, it doesn't matter if you're not vaccinated. You have one dosage of the vaccination or two. It doesn't matter your vaccination status. You can get sent to these camps if you are of close contact, like I was, or if you lie to authorities, as I found out, because I said that I had a test when I hadn't, and then I found out later that I was in there for punishment.
Who told you that?
CDC.
Do you have proof of that? What do you think? Does she have proof of that? Or, okay, she may have proof of that, but does she show the proof?
Center Disease Control.
So they say that your sentence, your 2-week incarceration, was actually punishment for having said you got a test and when you didn't.
Yeah. When other people were of close contact and they were allowed to self-isolate at home, where there was probably about 10 of them and I was the only one that got sent there. And that's what I was saying. Like, it doesn't make sense. Why am I the only one here? I want answers to this. And that was the only time that I got an answer, is when I rang CDC and they said, yeah, there's a high chance that you're in there for punishment because you lied to authorities.
At any stage of this process, did anyone tell you your rights? Have you had any contact with a lawyer? Has there been any kind of legal process?
Nothing. I've had nothing. Literally, it's so hard. No one really nobody knows. That's the thing. So it's like you're on your own in these situations and, you're just left. That's all. Like, there's no help when you're in this camp and there's no help when you're out of this camp. Like, it's just, you do your time and we'll leave you alone. That's all there is.
So we've heard that people have been trying to escape this Howard Springs camp in the past few days. What do you know about that?
Yeah, I did hear that I think 3 people have escaped. I don't know if they've found them yet, but yeah, they have escaped.
And do you understand why they would do that? I mean, give us a sort of summary of
because they're fucking batshit crazy.
Like,
the only reason a person would escape from that, it's just like they're insane, nothing else. Like, I don't fucking get it. Like, you must be so fucking balls deep in the QAnon jump the fence
during this period and what the whole experience has done to you.
Oh, trust me, when I was in there, I was thinking...
And also, they are looked upon like heroes for trying to escape the camps. Notoriety, and then they become famous, and they can make money out of it. Greed. Narcissism.
How do I escape? But, what are going to be the consequences if I do and if I get caught? It's an ongoing thing.
But why?
Your mental health, it's just... As I said, like, you're in a box, your mind's just going a million miles an hour, you feel horrible, it's just horrible what they're putting people through.
Because
you feel like you've done something
there.
wrong when you haven't. All you were doing is going about your normal life and you were close contact with someone who was ill. That's all it is.
Hayley, thank you so much for telling us your story.
I think
no
that's
worries. Thank you for having me.
Complete bullshit.
That was Hayley Hodgson. Thanks to her for telling her story. She joined us from Darwin in the Northern Territories in Australia, telling us about her last 2 or 3 weeks, which have been, to say the least, quite...
Yeah, shut the fuck up. Let's read the comments. They are probably fucking great. I've witnessed human rights abuses that never thought I'd see in this country. Stay strong, my friend. The most terrifying and depressing part of all of this is the amount of ordinary people who support it. If what she says is true, that then she was incarcerated without a court being involved. That is unlawful. The police came to her house after seeing footage of her near someone infected. Used her license plate to find her like a criminal. Yep. That's about it. But yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of red flags in that video. I'm not gonna buy it. I'm not gonna believe it based on that. But that's a great